Hello, it's Musa once again. This time we're not going to go through the league. I actually took some time to sit down and discuss how the meta is after the bans. It's been 2 weeks now since Flage and Lotusfield left Modern, and most players are sighing in relief. So right now I believe that it's a good time to just sit down and see what actually happened and what things have changed. What has changed. First and foremost, the most obvious impact of the ban announcement is the dramatic drop in the popularity of energy. If we check the modern metagame, we see that energy, instead of being somewhere here where affinity is right now, with about a 20% meta, 20 plus percentage of the meta, it has actually dropped down to 5% of it. Even though the deck hasn't completely died, as in my belief it's a solid tier 2 deck, there aren't that many players that pick it up anymore. And I do believe that this has to do also with the style and the personality of the players that picked up the deck in the first place. I play elves because I love playing elves. I love what they represent. I love tribes. I love green and love that. I love that more than winning. Even though, okay, let's be honest, I do manage to win with elves, not as much as I would with any other deck, or I wouldn't have to try as much to win with the other decks as I do with elves, where you have to fight so hard sometimes in order to get the win. Energy was played by the type of players that choose to play a deck to win a tournament, to win an RCQ, to win a Pro Tour. It's not that it's a bad thing to do, but it's a different approach to the whole mentality of Magic the Gathering than I do. So they decided to go to other decks that could give them that that high chance of winning, because Modern does still rely highly on very, very powerful cards. So we saw them leaving Boros Energy and going to other decks that were already set in the format, and they think that they're going to do better with those decks. It's okay about the energy. What about elves? Unfortunately, elves isn't much better against energy as it is right now. The reason for that is that elves didn't lose to Flage when it came to energy, as Flage usually was a turn 3 play into minimum turn 4 replay from the graveyard, which was very slow for elves. Elves mainly died and keep on dying, does a deck, to a Johnny. Then we have also here the other card, which is Goblin Bombardment. These are the two main problems for the deck. And Boros Energy has tempo. They are an aggro deck, and they also have some very nice synergies between Ocelot Pride with Goblin Bombardment and Ajani. This is something now that's more prominent as they relied even further on this strategy. Voice of Victory also is another card that's problematic when it's combined together with Goblin Bombardment. And this is something that hasn't changed for elves. This mechanism is still there. So the problems are still the same, or even worse, because they're relying more on those lines to kill. Apart from energy, though, another deck that completely disappeared is Jeskai Blink. I just pulled up one example, just to have an idea about it. It was a deck that was playing a Flage and was highly relying on Flage as a winning condition. It was a card that acted both as a removal and a very resilient threat. They have tried to replace the Flage with other 3-drops, but it seems that the deck is now way slower and has lost its tempo, and it's out of the format. It's another deck that I'm very happy to see going away, because I never liked playing against it. The last deck that has been affected by the ban announcement is actually, obviously, Amulet Titan. They lost their Lotus Field. The reasons behind it, you can go and read the announcement from Wizards. It was logistics. It was pretty much that Amulet players, especially on paper, it's taking them way too long to actually perform the loop and actually kill the opponent. This is also a problem that we used to have online. Sometimes you would just leave the Amulet player go for it. They might even go for like 10 minutes. 15 minutes, just try to kill you on game one. This is not fun magic. This is why, even though they've warned them a lot of times, Wizards in the end decided to step in and actually not kill the deck, kill that part of the deck. I do believe that Titan is still way more than alive. It's probably one of the most complicated and most difficult decks to play in Modern. The skill that's required to play Amulet is very, very high. Whomever knows how to play Titan very well, they always get rewarded for that. They're trying to assemble the combo again for using a Zuran Orb, but still half to 1 turn slower. The deck is not dead. The deck will never die as long as there is Titan, and then as long as there is a little vigor in the format. It used to be a great deck in the past before Aftermath Analyst, and it's going to be again. They're just trying to solve the puzzle, and we will see Titan again in the future. More than sure about it. Okay, energy dropped out of the meta. So what actually replaced it? If we check here the Modern meta, you'll see that we have turned into a more combo again format. I do consider Glorious Vengeance to be a combo deck mainly. Affinity, it's not combo, but it's, I'm gonna say, a solitaire deck, something like that. Ruby Storm, completely combo. Belcher, Living End. We're going for a combo meta. The Unban of Violent Outburst, 3-2 of the most popular Cascade decks ever known to the format. We do have Rhinos as well as Living End. Personally speaking, I don't believe that the Rhinos will affect the format that much anymore, as we move to a faster meta that has a lot of answers to everything that deck has to offer. Even for Elves, I'm not stressed anymore to see this matchup because we have gained some really good tools, for example, Nature's Rhythm, that make us go faster than whatever they have to interrupt us. And there are many answers to what they do. Living End, on the other hand, has gained some meaningful strong cards like Wistfulness, which is a great disenchantment. It can exile artifacts and enchantments, as well as Deceit, which they don't play in this current version, but they can go back to it. These cards have helped the deck with its consistency and gave it ways to fight through any artifact hate or any other type of hate. We have seen the deck rising in popularity again, and I do expect it to continue rising in the future. I, personally speaking, and I think I'm not the only one, I don't know if Violent Outburst will stay in the format. It's a card that can easily get abused. It's a card that is too powerful for what it does. Giving instant cascade speed while you have also in the background forces of negation as well as subtleties to protect anything you do is something that, personally speaking, I don't know how fair it is for Modern. Modern used to be in a very good spot, even with Flash around. And I don't want us to go to a very broken meta again. I want us to play Magic with skills, and I hope we're going to stay with that. Energy, by the way, is trying to adapt and add different colors. The most popular swap they're trying to do is swap to Azorius to take advantage of Quantum Riddler. I don't know how good this version is. It's definitely not as powerful as the Boros one. Personally speaking, I believe that Tajani is too good of a card. He's a 2-mana planeswalker that does not have a bad minus ability. So even though Teferi can be a very, very good planeswalker, I feel that it can still not replace Ajani as we know it. And I do believe that the deck will go back to being a Boros deck, and they will find the way towards the future. Do you actually want another surprise? Burn is back in the format. Many people believe that the format is healthy now that Burn is back. It was a deck that was so heavily suppressed by the presence of Flash because they were gaining life. And I'm really, even though it's a pain to play against Burn as it is right now, I'm really happy to see it because it's one of the pillars of the format. I do believe that Burn as a type of deck is a pillar of any format, and it should exist. I don't know yet if I'm going to change my sideboard in order to fight Burn. For now, I'm sitting back and I'm seeing where we're still going with the whole meta, and then I'm going to see if I'm going to put a playset of Leland of Vitality again in my sideboard. Apart from that, I do have to mention the most frustrating strategy that's back in Modern, which is land destruction decks. For a deck that can play out anything that they have in their hand without any lands on the board, like Elves, it actually feels ridiculous to be losing to a land destruction deck, but it seems to be a horrid matchup. I still haven't found a consistent way of beating them. The difference, though, is that it's not just a land destruction deck. You have to deal with it as if it's a control deck, a very bad control deck. First, they're going to remove every creature you own. They have erodes, they do have Paths of Exile, they have March of Otherworldly Light, Galvanic Discharge. They can spot remove everything. They also run 4 Paths of Wrath of the Skies. And post-board, not in this version that I have here, but they do run also a Wrath of God, because why not? In case you actually have something left. I'm going to make sure that you actually have nothing left after all. Only desperation and agony. It's a very bad matchup. They beat you in the end just by playing some Solitude. It's not always that they play Kahira, by the way. But Solitude seems to be the most consistent way of them to beat you, even though they used to play Flash. And imagine they removed Flash from their decks, and it's still a decent deck. It's a horrible matchup. That's all I have to say. Another deck that popped up the last week since I wrote my article in Patreon. Yes, whatever we are discussing about here, you're going to find it in my free Patreon that I'm going to link down below. Is this green deck, as Coldfish names it. What it actually does, it actually sneaks Hemrakul, the Promised End, into play by using, they are creating tons of mana using Ronas, and they do have this enchantment, the Fight Rigging, which actually says that if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. I think I'm overthinking about this deck. I faced it twice. I didn't know what they were doing and I lost to it. I don't believe that it's going to be a bad matchup for Elves because they don't really have removal. They only have Kozilek's commands. And I do believe that we can be faster than them, even though they can turn 3 that Emrakul. In the future, I think they're going to see this deck rising again. As you see, we're moving again, as I said, once more, towards a very combo meta. Last but not least, I don't have anything worth mentioning regarding Umeza was Jita. It was a card that was banned since the beginning of Modern, as everyone expected, anyone that actually knows how to play Modern. It was an underwhelming unban, just like Batterskull. I do believe that it might be relevant in the future, but for now, until we find the right shell and until maybe some other cards get printed that can abuse this shell, the artifact is not good for competitive Modern. This last unexpected also ban announcement, because it happened mid-Modern season. This is something that Wizards, as far as I know, mentioned in the past that they will try not to make any moves and don't ban cards during any season in order not to upset the format and not to upset, for example, the Pro Tour. But this last unexpected ban announcement really shook Modern to its core. Wizards' actions were risky, but for now it seems that they did pay off, and I really hope that it's going to pay off in the future. I really hope that we won't be here on the 30th of June complaining about violent outburst and how it has oppressed Modern once again. We'll leave you though with one and only hope. There's only one hope that I can have. That Wizards will keep on giving us bolder and bigger unbans, and one day the one and only Shaman will find his way back home. See you in the next video, everyone. Thank you if you watched until the end of this. Bye-bye.